black crows. That is wonderful. What is up, Cinnamon Girl? Mr. A, what kind of trouble you been causing around town? Inquiring minds want to know. Okay, let me just put this out there, right? Ernie coming up on my panel and speaking to me the way he did not surprise me in no way, shape, or form. Okay. It just basically, puts a little red ribbon on how he is for real. For sure. He will go back to his little crew and do whatever he's going to do. But no, it didn't bother me. Actually, I slept really well last night. I sure did. So, yes. Yeah, he is. He's a jerk. Everybody knows he's a jerk. Everybody knows. Yeah. He'll be doing something over the top here pretty soon. Cinema, I don't know why that hid that. My chat, a lot of it's been hidden. Thank you, the Piratist, for the email. That is super sweet. I appreciate you. I do. So I seen something that I didn't understand, and if you guys know me, I try to talk about and make sense of things. Now, this is from a channel called Missing PNW Crimes Revisited. The link is in chat. I already put her link in chat. She is my go-to person besides Brandy on the Michael Vaughn case. This is where I go, to the Missing PNW Crimes Revisited. She has put a lot of wonderful content out concerning Michael's case. There was just a recent update. Yes, May May, you did. You missed it, May May. Look, this is all I'm going to say about Ernie. I don't need Ernie for my content. I never have. Don't care if Ernie shows up over here or doesn't show up over here. Never been my, never been somebody that I'm going to follow around and, I don't need to do that. There's 100 other people that talk about Ernie continuously, right? Hey, Avian. So I started to watch this, right? Hey, Carrie. He's the worst content a person could have. He thought he was cool. He came up on my panel. He disrespected me. And so I guess, he thought that because he did that, he didn't have to wear diapers anymore and he could wear his big boy panties or his big girl panties, whichever fits him. I don't know. And hey, Freeside. And it didn't bother me like he wanted it to. So I think it's pretty amusing that they all of them use my neighbor to attack me they say shit that my neighbor has said to attack me. Now, who needs friends like that, right? Because the more that they repeat the lies that she said, that is just another check mark for Remain Calm, right? For real. I mean, I'll play that in court. I will. I'm not afraid to. But where they don't understand, nobody fucking cares. Nobody cares. Do people even understand that? Not saying that people don't care about me or that I don't care about people, because I do. I even care about people I don't like. I really do. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to follow them around social media and go into chats and be like, I don't like you. I don't like you. But I don't want to see no harm come to you, right? What is up, Grumble? Okay, so if you guys remember, Justin Clutch Them Pearls, FOIA requested, I'm not quite sure what he FOIA requested. Well, this is the thing, Cinnamon Girl. I'm a commentating channel. I commentate and I give my opinion. And if something strikes my fancy that I want to, commentate on, that's what I'm going to do, right? That's what I do on my channel. It ain't on me if people don't like it or not. Don't watch, right? No, me neither. Me neither. Are you kidding? I heard that, they was going to come to my house. They were going to hurt my animals. They were going to do this and they were going to do that. It's like, you don't, do I take it seriously? Some of it I don't take seriously. The problem is that my house, my address, vehicles with license plate numbers, that has all been put out on YouTube and Facebook Messenger, right? That's been out there for, I don't even know when the Psycho Neighbor actually started putting that stuff out, but it was long before I even came to YouTube. Long before I even came to YouTube. So, yeah, I don't care about him either, Freeside, at all. But let me say this. Nobody's going to tell me how to run my channel. Nobody's going to tell me who I can talk to on my channel. Nobody's going to tell me who I can like and who I can't like. Nobody's going to do that. Nobody, no. Look, there are a lot of people out there that feel like that, they have to be friends with certain people. You don't. You don't. If you start digging into someone's life and threatening to go to their house, it's past time to log off. Well, my thing is, I mean, I'll just come out and say it. I already have the proof of what was said, okay? And so it doesn't benefit the person who came out and told the lies to start with. I don't know, Grumble. They're just, there's a lot of people on social media that act a certain way that are not like that in real life. They're not like that in real life. It's a social media persona for sure. I mean, on my channel, I'm a cunt. I am not a very nice person. In real life, I'm probably one of the nicest people you'd ever want to meet. Right? Yeah, people behind the scenes, absolutely. Absolutely. But, like I said, that shit started for me over a decade ago. And believe me, I still learn things every day about what was said and shown about me and my family behind the scenes. Okay? That new stuff comes to me all the time. All the time. And it's like, I am not going to go knocking on Ernie's door. Well, you can't find Ernie anyway. He kind of goes everywhere. I would never try to chase him down. I can tell you that. For what he said, but I'm sure the server will be knocking on the door where that vicious lie came from and was spread. So, like I said, yeah, I don't think any of those people are benefiting their so-called friend. I can tell you that for sure. But no, I don't care what Ernie says. It didn't hurt my feelings. It really didn't. Did not hurt my feelings. They're my ads, Grumble. I monetize this live, Grumble. I have to make a living somehow. Most of the time, I don't monetize it until after I'm off. As soon as the live's over and I edit the song out. No, you're fine. Actually, I'm going to take care of that for you. I will. Because yes, commercials do drive people cray-cray. Here you go. I'll turn them off. I can turn them back on later. I'll turn them back on after I get after the live's over. I'll do it that way. I didn't even stay. Mama T went live yesterday, and I went in there and said, hey, and I turned around and I was like, I didn't stay in there because Ernie was in there. She was talking to Ernie. I had heard enough of Ernie's voice. I didn't need to hear anymore, for sure. So, plus I had things to do, so I'm not sure what transpired over there, but So, okay, let's get into this because this bothers me. Let me drop the link to this again. So it sounds like you don't have to apologize, Grumble. It's okay. It's okay. Believe me. Nothing to worry about, darling. Okay, so like I was saying, I remember that Justin from Clutch Them Pearls had FOIA requested some documents in the Michael Vaughn case. When he received those documents, well, he ended up getting the interview that law enforcement was doing with Stacy Wondra. Okay. And I'm assuming that there's a Stacy Wondra fan on the loose. Anyhow, I'm a commentating channel and I give my opinion. If you feel the need to tip your host, the Cash App and Venmo are on the banner. And I will absolutely say this. Thank you, Carrie. I think that it is such a beautiful thing to witness the mother of a child show her love for her child so deeply, like Brandy does with Michael. And many of us have come from broken homes. Many of us have come from broken homes. Many of us maybe had a father, who with addiction problems, or maybe left the family, when the kids were younger, or mothers who had addiction issues and, maybe not so much physically left the family, but mentally wasn't capable to care for their children or show their children love. And what she has went through, we all, and I'm speaking for all of us because I know I can speak for all of us when I say that going through what she's been through, she, to this day, stands for her son and her family. And I just love that. Honestly, let's talk about it. Brandy's out here fighting to get her son back. She wants to know where he's at. Even to the extent that she has spoken to monsters and she held her head up high, right? Oh, Zena, thank you. Thank you, Zena. I appreciate you, Zena. Zena has always been so supportive of the channel, and I appreciate that so much. So okay, hold on. Hold on. Oh, Jackie got one. Hey, Jackie. I don't know who Firecrotch is. Chicken Snake. Oh, Terry Southern Girl got one. Hey, Kels, is that you? No, that ain't Kels. Somebody else. Thank you, Zena. You are super cool, for real. Okay, so when Justin Thoya requested that and put it out, he had his watermark on it. I'm trying to remember because I heard that they had sent that to Clutch Them Pearls by mistake, that it wasn't an interview that was going to be released to the public yet. Okay, so let's see. Let's see what's going on here. As I said, I'm a commentary channel and I give my opinion. Please feel free to talk about whatever you want in chat. Just dress your words up for me. Yeah. Well, I call them no-see-em people. They're the no-see-em people. You no-see them, right? And I've always said too, some people go to different channels and hang out in the bushes. They don't want certain people to know that they're hanging out and, listening or anything like that, right? Because then they're afraid that, their leader, whoever their leader is, might get angry at them, right? But my channel is an 18 plus channel. So even if you're over 18 plus and, you cannot think for yourself or stand up for yourself to anyone else, I don't know if you'd be a good fit over here or not, for sure. Because you're all grown ass adults, okay? Hey, Sage, how are you? I was going to talk a little bit. I've got some notes pulled out too, to kind of talk about Summer's case too. So
extraditing him as he was finishing out his federal probation violations that he had acquired while he was out for a short stint. He was in Arizona, Maricopa County, and they extradited him from there to Idaho, and that's where we're at. So
yes, Stacy Wondra right now is incarcerated in Idaho. Stacy Wondra gave law enforcement an interview where he described what happened to Michael. Of course, Stacy has never taken any responsibility for anything that happened to Michael.
This motion to suppress is specifically about the statements that were leaked out by the mother of Michael Vaughn.
No, Eve, you got it wrong. The motion to suppress statements is actually not just based off of the leaked footage that Brandy released, but also the conversations with Stacy Wondra's mom and his confession to detectives in November of 2022.
Who had her YouTube friend Clutch Them Pearls, aka Justin for All, request body cam footage and information about Stacey Wandra.
That I haven't even watched this, and I'm gonna stop this right here. Brandy Neal Vaughn would not need anyone to speak to law enforcement or FOIA request anything that has to do with her child's case. How much sense does that make, lady? I mean, seriously.
After he was a named
Sorry, I got a little feisty there for a minute.
suspect, right a few months after the excavation happened in 2022.
Wrong again. Brandy Vaughn never asked Justin from Clutch Them Pearls to request that FOIA. Also, check your facts, because the FOIA was requested in 2024, not right after they excavated the Wanderer's backyard in 2022.
She got a hold of that information, which was supposed to be evidence, right?
I don't even know who this lady is talking. And I'm like, are you freaking serious? Lord Jesus, take the wheel today. It is very hot out today. It's supposed to be like 91 here. Oh, Lord, you guys never know what I am going to say. You don't. I am not responsible for it.
But somehow it's not the prosecutor's fault or anybody in Payette County. It's all Washington's fault for releasing that information. And so that was held on to for quite a bit of time until right either before the extradition of.
See, some states, you have to live in that state to be able to FOIA request information, right? I could be wrong.
Stacey Wandra from Maricopa County, Arizona.
Brandy Vaughn had seen that footage and had it for a year before she ever released it. It was released in January of 2025, and Stacey Wandra was extradited back to Fruitland, Idaho in October of 2025, almost 8 months later.
See, this is what kind of irks the shit out of me. We're talking about this monster on the screen right now and 3 other individuals that this man admittedly was there when horrible things occurred. Why would you want to look, especially in a missing child case? It's one thing to have your opinion about something, but how are you putting things out as factual that's not factual? Right? Dang, exploited. You're at 101? I know, it's supposed to be really hot. Really, really hot. I've got a really nice little setup out back for the kittens, so I put them some ice out there this morning. So they got ice water. They've got a cool shady spot. Yeah, you can't freaking breathe when it gets so hot. Not at all. Not at all. And I have started many times to cover the Michael Vaughn case over here. And I, in my heart, you know, I definitely try to keep his name out there. I would rather go to a channel like PNW that I know is putting out factual information on the case. Someone who's been there from the beginning, someone who absolutely has the family's best interest at heart. I don't know how anybody can come out here and yeah.
So no, it wasn't released right before Stacey Wandra was extradited.
That was released for the public. And what that was to make sure that that really sticks into everybody's mind before the trial starts.
What? I don't even know who this lady is talking. Stacey Wandra said those things herself. It wouldn't have mattered when that information was put out or not put out. What did it matter?
It was intentional, in my opinion, to get everyone on the page of this guy absolutely did it, because that's where the only evidence is that.
Wow. So is she a Stacey Wandra supporter? I guess I'm a different fucking kind of character. Because guess what? The man said what he said. I still wouldn't have liked the guy. He's fucking creepy. It's been hard for me to follow because we know who is responsible for his disappearance. It drives me crazy that anyone can take up for any of them. I agree. Exploited. I totally agree. You think she had been for a while? Even if, and this is just me, even if that interview that Stacey Wandra did with law enforcement, even if that would have not been released, I would have still felt the same way that I feel now with it being released. In that interview, the guy is saying that he's seen a little child, and I hate to even, I really hate to even go into it. We know what Stacey Wandra said. We know what he said that they did. We know what he said he witnessed. It doesn't matter that it was put out publicly, the interview. Even without the interview, the man lived in the home with 3 other suspects and didn't call law enforcement. So you know what that tells me? That tells me that the guy is a piece of shit. And he's a piece of shit no matter what he said. Now, some people may want to hang out with the dude, send him money for honey buns and shit like that. So it's just sickening to me. It's sickening to me. Poor Stacy Wandra. Are you fucking kidding me? That's just like I always have said. Hey, who in their right mind would even want to be friends with somebody who was accused of touching a child? Who would want to be friends with somebody that law enforcement was looking at as someone who put harm on a child? Who the fuck wants to be friends with them kind of people? And don't get me wrong, there are people out there that do, right? And I know there's some of you weird asses who are like, they found Jesus. Sarah Wonder found Jesus. If Jesus can forgive her, then I need to forgive her, right? No, ain't happening over on this side of the street. For real.
Leaked footage of him being interrogated by police in a jail cell.
So
Well,
what?
we don't really care about.
And he wasn't in a jail cell. He was in a nice little comfortable room. He also got the opportunity to tell a cold case detective that was searching his home for evidence of a child being in that home, because Stacy said that things happened in that home. And how sick is it that this man, this devil, demon, whatever you want to call him, you know what he was more worried about? His fucking fishing poles. Could you check and make sure my fishing poles are there? Who the fuck does that? Would they let Sarah babysit their 5-year-old? I don't know, Bomba Cat. I agree with you, Karen, with the C. This guy is psycho. This man over and over described what happened. And if you think that old fucking demonite there shed a tear, he never shed a tear. Not one.
Your opinion, Eve. It was actually released because Brandy Vaughn came up on my panel at Missing PNW and talked with Stacy Wandra, and he lied about ever knowing who Michael was or any of the events that had occurred about his abduction or murder.
He did, and I recommend you guys go over and watch it. Like I said, PNW is where I go to get all of the Michael Vaughn updates. She's had conversations with Brandon and I believe Brandon's shirtless girlfriend, Stacy Wandra. She has really, that is my go-to for any update on Michael's case at all.
And it upset her so much that she decided to release that footage to show everybody that Stacy Wandra had been lying during his entire YouTube shit show.
Yes.
You're lying, you're spreading misinformation,
Yep.
you're spreading rumors in Michael Vaughn's case,
Yep.
all so it fits your narrative.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that. I mean, I always say to each their own, to each their own. You can't tell people what to do. I mean, really, you can't. You can't tell people what to do. You can't tell people what to say. I would just hope that when it comes down to children, that people really take that into account. I know, people are supposed to be grown adults. They can fight all they want to. They can call each other names all they want to. It doesn't matter. I can't fathom why. Yeah, it is suspicious when they run to YouTube. Exactly, Zena. Well, I mean, this is my opinion. Stacy Wandra came to YouTube only because he needed money. He needed money. That was it. He needed money. So he starts going up on people's panels. I think the dude was charging like $100 an hour. $100 a freaking hour. A suspect in a horrific child case. And people were giving him $100 an hour. Made him feel special. And all he did, people paid $100 to be lied to. Y'all can pay me $100 and you can lie to me all day long. Right? All day long. So now, from my understanding, Stacy doesn't want what he told law enforcement to be told in a court of law. I mean, the world is a messed up place. A messed up place. So we'll see how it plays out, because they're all gonna end up wanting to make deals. They're all gonna want to make deals. But the bottom line is, Michael needs to go home to his mother and his father and his siblings, right? Oh my God. That is so funny. Mr. A. That's right. He'll admit it. Mr. A will admit it. It's just, I don't know. It was always sickening to me how Stacy Wanderer would set up there, you know, like he was this important person, and you know, he thrived off of people talking to him and giving him money and making him feel special or whatever, right? Or, you know, and I don't know. Now, what makes you think I'm stepping on their love chain, skunk? I am not stepping on that love chain. For sure. Thank you, Carrie Lawson. Absolutely. If you have any information on Michael Monkey Vaughn case, please contact Fayetteville County Sheriff 208 642 6006, extension 0, for sure. You make me want to play the Love Shack song for him. Love Shack, baby. Yeah, it is going to be very hot today, Zena. Very hot. That's the only reason I kind of popped on. But I will always try to put in my community posts a link to any updates for Michael. Like I said, I dropped PNW's link. You guys, yeah, I'm. That is where I go for my information and updates. But there are many other people who do talk about Michael's case, and you know, just pick out the one that you you know, prefer to get your information from. It is just sad to me that someone would even try to defend Stacy Wanderer. It's just, I don't know. It's sick to me, but you've been flooding. You thought who popped in to say hi? Mr. A? I know, he's a flirt. He flirts with everybody. It's just flirting, though, okay? That's all he's doing is flirting around. He's a flirter. For sure. Okay. All right. So then, oh, me. I always say hi to you, May May. You know I love you, May May. I have not asked nobody's number. That is so funny. No, I don't think you have, Mr. A. You're right about that. That is so funny. Flirt on, playa. You flirt on, playa. That is funny. Girl, you were out mowing? I'm not even letting my lawnmower guy mow my grass. It's too hot. Unless he wants to do it at night when the sun starts going down. No way. You guys, let me say this. My heart goes out to homeless individuals right now. Hopefully, they are in shaded areas. Hopefully, there's, companies that will allow them to come and get out of the heat, things like that. My DNA is all over the life. Oh, thank you, Skunk. Thank you. Zena. Thank you again, Zena. I appreciate you, Zena. That's so sweet of you. It really is. Let's see. Dutch girl. Don't know Dutch girl. Hey, Rosie got one. You go, Rosie. Jamie Brown, Aurora. I've heard of Aurora. Elizabeth. And Zena got one for herself. That is so funny, Zena. That is hilarious. That is so funny. Duchess is your good friend. Is that Duchess? Is that Duchess? Duchess? Oh, is that Duchess? Duchess, Zena? Oh, thanks. Oh, okay. See, I don't really know Duchess that well. I know there was stuff going on or whatever. I don't know. I can't keep up with so much stuff, but Zena means beautiful in Moroccan. Wow, that is really cool. That is really cool. No, Duchess still covers missing children, right, Zena? She was covering missing children. She would put their posters and stuff out there. Duchess is the one that spoke with the gas station attendant in the Summer Wells case. Duchess talked to that lady first. She did. Okay. I'm just going to give you all my opinion on the gas station lady, because Duchess spoke to her first, and it's over on Duchess played it, I believe. Duchess played it, and I'm not sure exactly what was going on. Someone else came out and said that they were talking to the gas station lady, and I don't even know where the freak my phone is at. All right, hold on, y'all. Oh. I hate that. I hate when somebody calls you and then they put you on hold. You answer the phone and they're like, oh, hang on, they'll be with you in a moment. Why are you calling me then? Put me off chocolate for life. Yeah, I agree, Zena. I do agree with that. So the gas station attendant in the Summer Wells case spoke with Duchess. Duchess played it, and then Nana for Life was friends with the gas station lady, I guess, and had put out some stuff about the gas station lady. It was interesting because allegedly Candace was in the gas station that day. On June 15, 2021, around I guess, one of the busiest times of day in the store, it was said that Candace Bly Wells went into the bathroom at this gas station, stayed in that bathroom, came out, and left. Right? One thing that I always try to keep in mind is when you are, especially in the Summer Wells case, when you're listening to locals being interviewed or different things like that, you have to be aware of things that they say that says they had been watching social media. I distinctively remember in the conversation with the gas station lady that she made a comment, something about, I'm sure that boy could tell you, I'm sure something, she said something about Hunter, right? You love truffles? And I don't know, I'd have to go back and find Duchess's interview. I'd have to go back and play that. I think I played it once, but so all those people that, were local, that was being interviewed and all of that stuff, a lot of them, they come out and say that they were listening to someone on social media. That, to me, and this is just me, always made a difference to me in what they were saying. That always made a difference, I think, in the interviews itself. I can guarantee you 1,000%, I'm not, this is just the way I feel. And I know that there are creators who don't feel this way, but I don't feel the need to one up anybody for anything. For sure. But the majority of the time, I don't, I'm not, I don't need to go around and get people to like me. I've never been that type of person. I've never been that type of person where I felt the need that I needed to go and say or do things to make people like me. I've just never been that way. People are going to like you or they're not going to like you. For sure. But if you do look into the Summer Wells case, so you immediately recognize that I don't even want to say that Don and Candace were poor, right? You could have $1 to your name and not be poor. And not be poor. There are other things in people's lives that make them rich. And it doesn't necessarily have to be money. So many people in the area that have come out and spoke have talked about, not being rich individuals. They talked about having to do things, and I mean illegal things, because they didn't have enough money to survive. The area itself is secluded. It's isolated. It's definitely isolated. The 110 Ben Hill Road itself, if you look at it, it seems kind of like, there was a hoarding situation going on, right? We seen 110 Ben Hill Road after Summer went missing. We seen how, hoarded it looked. It looked hoarded. After Summer went missing, people went in out of the kindness of their heart, spent their own money, did everything that they could to help Candace clean it up. Don was in jail. They also searched the home, and if you listen to Don, the vehicles. Don said they tore all his tools out of his vehicle numerous times. He said he got tired of putting them back in there. But what were they looking for? And people can say, oh, they kept searching the house looking for Summer. And is that a possibility? Yeah, that's a possibility. But I just feel like they were looking for something. That's like when Don was in jail and they gave him the warrant for the safe. said they served him a search warrant for the safe. Now, because this is what interested me, and let me find it. Because I remember, hopefully I can find it. Nana's Angels, rest in peace, Nana. Hold on. Had been conversing. Nana had sent some questions to Tim Mullins. And, oh, where is it? I thought I had it. Here it is. I found it. Bless your heart, Nana. I am going to drop her link. I truly believe that her family still gets some sort of revenue from her channel. I don't know that 100%, but okay, Mr. A. So she asked a couple questions. Here, I'll share it with you guys. Hold on. Because the way that he answered this one question, kind of just blew my mind. Hold on, I'll find it. Hold on, she just put them out here. Okay. So Nana asked if Dawn Wells and Tim Mullins were related. Tim's answer was not related in any form except we both love God. Of course, we've never done a DNA test, so who knows? This question number 2 is what interested me. Did Dawn sign over the property to you until his release date? Tim says, you mean his house / land? No. Why would he have worded that like that? Why would he have worded that like that? What property did he have? Oh, the phone, right? Tim Mullins had Dawn's phone. Did Dawn sign over the property to you? You mean his house and land? No. What did Dawn sign over? I wonder what Dawn did sign over to Tim Mullins. This is just my belief that somewhere out there, and it could at this time be non-existent now, but I do believe there were, and this is just my belief, pictures, or some sort of evidence of wrongdoing. She sold it, Amy's. Candace sold the Suburban, right? And I believe the canoe to Kathy the friend. Nana asking, if you're the media manager, why have you never done a news interview about the case? Well, Tim says that's not public relations does not speak for their clients. I don't know, Tim. See, this gets me too, because Nana said, can you name other clients you've had in the past? Tim says, that's not how it works. I've worked with all aspects of media my whole life. I know the industries. I did not want to deal with the YouTubians, though. They distracted in improper ways. I had to focus on the professionals and still do. And no, I'm not writing a book or making a movie. But YouTube needs to respect law enforcement and TBI statement. Many need to take how to be a decent human class. I agree, Tim. I don't know. Okay. So we have an area that, you know, the economics of that area, we know that some people in that area just don't have a lot of money. And I truly, from what I've seen, is the people from the area that per se, you know, did have money were not talked about. They wasn't thrown into the messed up stuff. If you looked at Summer herself, a lot of people believe that Summer's parents never bought her things, that she was made to wear hand-me-downs of the boys. She never, you know, was given things that the boys were given. A lot of people absolutely believe that, right? If you look at a lot of the pictures that Candace put out, though, Summer's in little girl clothes. Summer's in little girl clothes. We know that from what we've learned from people pulling up, doing background checks on people, looking up the generational information on Dawn and Candace's family, we absolutely were shown that both families, there was some sort of generational trauma there. I wonder what grade in school that Dawn and Candace had, right? If you pull up the area, there is so many that's funny, Zena. You're so funny. For sure. Hold on. Let me see if I don't know if I can shake it. Let me see if I can shake it. It's shaking bacon. Ah, hell. Not yet. Not yet. Here, let me see. Hold on. Oh. How many people we got? Well, let's see. We'll do 5 more. Let's do 5 more. Truth of the matter. Jenny Janello. It is what it is. Hey, Vanna. I don't know who Nay is. There you go. There's 5 more. So anyhow, look, I don't think that Carrie, I just can't believe that you didn't get one and Blythe didn't even get one. She's in the bushes all the time. She liveth in the bushes. She is from the No-See-Em community. Yep, you build it, they will come. I don't know. I build it and then I scare them away, Zena, for sure. I'm just a very opinionated person. For sure. I am. I don't hide the fact I'm opinionated. Okay, so the minute that everyone's seen the area, the minute that everybody's seen Dawn and Candace, the minute that they were coming on camera and they were drinking and doing whatever they were doing, and people were coming out of, and telling us exactly what was happening at 110. They were telling us everything that was being said at 110. Nothing, not one time, and you can agree with me or not one time did I ever hear anyone say nice things about Dawn Wells and Candace Wells. When Summer went missing and social media picked up the case, I never heard anybody saying a nice thing about Dawn or Candace, period. Did anybody? Feel free to let me know. Right? Oh, you're okay, Bomba Cat. Thank you for being here. I'm sorry you're not feeling well. I really am. We got a lot going on. I know so many people who are not feeling well right now and have some really horrible medical stuff going on. And I want you guys to know I am praying for you guys. I really am. And it's okay if, people don't like me or whatever. I don't wish bad things on anybody. And I do pray. I pray for people. I really do. Even people I don't like. That's the thing about it. No matter what anybody says, I'm not going to wish harm on people. I'm not. I'm not going to carry that. Why would anybody want to carry that on their soul, right? Does that make sense? I don't think they would. Sweet summer, going missing, check the holler up. All that was done in the dark will come to light. It will, Zena. It will. And it will come out when it's time to come out. I mean, we watched Dawn and Candace Wells. And this is, like I said, my opinion. It seemed like that they didn't prioritize Summer. That's the way that I feel, is that Summer went missing, but very quickly was not the priority any longer. It just seemed like the priority was that they wanted friends. Of course, I can't say anything about Dawn and Candace making money off of their daughter, because it is their daughter. And I think people forget that. And believe me, I forget it myself sometimes. Summer Moon Utah Wells is the daughter of Dawn Wells and Candace Bly Wells. Even, I mean, let's just be honest. Even, we're like, it's sad that they had to be her parents. They're, of course, horrible people. They made a mockery out of Summer's case. Some people say that, okay? We have to remember that is their daughter. They did horrible things behind the stage. I still believe she walked off looking for her mom. Met one of their creepy friends along the way. Well, Zena, hey, Miss Justice, good to see you. This is, how many people honestly believe that there was some stranger standing at the top of that hill, just out of the blue? out of the blue. Gonna stand there right off the driveway in the woods, right? And they're just watching. They're just watching. And, you know, in their mind, they're like, I know that they're going to be back. I know that Summer's going to come out of that basement door eventually to go to that swing. But hey, I'm going to stand here for hours and wait on them. Plus, that shit never made no sense to me. If Don had the Subaru that day, if Don took the Subaru to work that day, his truck would have been at the top of 110 Ben Hill Road, right? So not only are you're, I mean, how much sense does that make that someone who did not know the family would take that chance? But even someone who did know, it would have had to been someone that Don being at home didn't intimidate him at all, right? His truck being there, right? But why, if Candace left in her vehicle, if Candace left in a vehicle, what would make Summer, hey, killer? They were pulling Tony Hammonds around them parts, grab and go. Some of the nastiest method of watching always driving by for drugs. Randy was right there stealing. Yeah, I did hear that. Because they said Tony Hammonds was in the area that day. Now, killer, I don't know who said or told Candace that Tony Hammonds was in the area that day, but Candace did say Tony Hammonds was in the area that day. And yes, from what Don Wells said, there were individuals that were coming up on the hill stealing things. Right? Not actually Tony. That type. So you got yes, just to let you guys remind you guys about Tony Hammonds. Tony Hammonds was a individual that was had tried to contact a if I remember correctly, he tried to kidnap a young boy, even chasing the boy into the house. I always wanted to know, my question was, why or who seen Tony Hammonds in the area that day that told Candace he was in the area that day because Candace was gone all day, right? Gone all day. Now, Tony went to jail. Let me see if I can find what I have on him. Let me go. I'll have to Google it. Hold on. Tony Hammond. Got to kidnap. Oh my God. You went back to PG's little girl? Lord help you, girl. Okay, so this was in. Wait. Oh no, this is not the one I'm looking for. This guy's name's Antonio Hammond. That's not what I'm looking for. Okay, hold on. Mm-mm. That's Dobbin County. Dobbin County. Okay, so anyhow, kind of backtracking a little bit. How? See, Don said people were coming up there stealing stuff, right? Just today. Okay. Girl, you can do it every day. I don't care. Don't matter to me. That is funny. Okay, hang on. Let me back that back up. See, just a few weeks ago, there was a Harrisburg man that was convicted of trying to kidnap a 2-year-old. But that's not who we're looking for. Hold on. In Tennessee. All right, this was in Kingsport. Let me share it with you guys. Hey, Killer, I hope you're feeling good, man. I hope you're doing well, for real. Okay, so this was in June 19, 2021. June 19, 2021, right? Yeah, a lot of RSOs in the area. And why would you think Dudley wouldn't know more? One of the biggest problems that I think that came to light after Summer went missing were the amount of people that they were coming out. They were demeaning each other's characters. You know, one person is way worse than another one. They all admittedly were doing substances. And I'm not talking about marijuana. Okay. So and don't forget, Summer had her head shaved. Summer had her head shaved. For sure. I would be curious to know if law enforcement actually spoke to Tony Hammonds about Summer's case. But I definitely would want to know, and I've always wanted to know, who exactly told Candace that Tony Hammond was in the area that day. Because she did speak on that in the interview she did with Chris McDonough. She did speak on that. Okay, so on June 17th at approximately 11:30 a.m., Kingsport PD responded to an attempted abduction at a residence in the 3900 block of Skyland Drive in Kingsport. Now, this is the thing, though. It did sound like, and I'm trying to remember back that far, but it definitely sounded like that Tony Hammond was familiar with some areas where I personally wouldn't go to. Do you guys remember when Marlena said that Tony Hammond was trying to get into her car? It was weird to me that she said that she would even mention Tony Hammond. I don't know if it's true or not. I just remember when she said it. So, I know what I was talking about. If Candace left in her car, I don't know why Summer would have took off walking to try to find her. So, as far as her looking for Candace that way, I don't know. Okay. So this was just 4 days after Summer went missing. A 12-year-old boy was mowing his yard when he observed, listen to this, a maroon car drive past the residence. The car returned, pulled into the driveway. It stated that the suspect, who was not previously known to him, exited the car, quickly approached him, yelling, "Come here, boy," and reached out to grab him. The boy retreated through the garage and into the house. Do you think that has anybody, because I don't know, has anybody found a connection between Tony Hammonds and 110 Ben Hill Road at all? Is there any type of connection there? Was there a, hey, use your chapstick? Summer's head was shaved. I mean, look, there's that possibility. My takeaway that if, and this is just the way I feel, if someone was on the 110 Ben Hill Road property, up at the top, hanging out, unless it was someone that they knew was there, I don't see a stranger hanging out, especially with dogs in the area. Right? Tony Hammond shared an address with Jody's brother. Why would that be weird? Why would that be weird that Randy Clark deleted his Facebook or put it on private? Why would that be weird? This is what I said, okay? Because I had somebody send me some screenshots of a conversation that was allegedly from, I don't know, Laura. Okay, so I was being told that Laura's daughter was at Fred's that day with Laura. That Laura was not with Fred. That Laura and her daughter were at Fred's that day. That somehow there was I'd have to go back and find the email. Somewhere there was a conversation from Chad that I'm not sure exactly the whole conversation between Laura's daughter and Chad, but supposedly Chad made the comment, I'm getting out of here before law enforcement comes. The only thing off the top of my head that I thought, right? Come on, PG's little girl. Come on. You just answered your own freaking question. A creator tried to get a hold of them. Why is that weird if you're freaking being bombarded by a shitload of people you don't know who, is possibly harassing you over a little missing girl? I would have privatized it too. I'm just saying, though, right? I just think she was a wild child. She was all over the holler. Well, she grew up there. I mean, she did. Okay, so this is a 12-year-old boy ran through the garage and into the house. The suspect pursued him into the garage and attempted to gain entry into the house. This little boy's mother was at home. This little boy's mom was at home. She persuaded, it says here, she persuaded Tony Hammonds to leave after threatening to call law enforcement. Tony Hammonds was identified as the suspect. They obtained the warrant. Tony Hammond was on probation at the time. One of his charges, aggravated burglary, aggravated kidnapping, and violation of probation related to a previous theft conviction. Could Tony Hammonds have went up to 110 Ben Hill Road that day, right? You don't have to keep your opinions to yourself, for real. They all knew each other. Most of those people knew each other, right? You can have your opinion, PG's little girl. It don't hurt to have your opinion. I mean, if you think it's weird, then you think it's weird. But we got to remember, too, that a lot of these people were being viciously attacked. Viciously attacked. So then when they would have to privatize their Facebooks or whatever, right? Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah. I just wondered if they didn't I would really like to know if they talked to Tony Hammond that day. I don't understand. I'll have to do an update on Tony Hammond. There he is right there. That is what Tony Hammond looks like right there. Okay, so what I was going to say about the Laura and her daughter being at Fred's that day. That makes more sense to me on why Chad Arnold would have been sitting there on the property, right? Yeah, this dude, absolutely. Why don't you think they would have talked to him about Summer? I would hope that they would have, right? Now, I don't need anybody coming for me because didn't they try to say that Tony was related to the young boy somehow? No. The boy was only 12. Tony Hammonds is 50. He was 58 years old. That was back in 2021. You can do the math on that. I would absolutely think I mean, this guy, let's see. 12-year-old boy mowing his grass. The vehicle returned, pulled up in the driveway. Tony screamed at the boy, "Come here, boy." The boy actually ran away. The boy was chased into the garage. Yeah, I would have to dig up. I've got stuff on him. I've showed him before. But then again, I mean, just because you're an addict and you may go around stealing stuff doesn't mean that you're going to harm a child or do something horrible to a child. Now, are there people who absolutely would? Yes. Right? That's nuts. Now, there was another guy in the vehicle with Tony Hammonds. There was another guy in the vehicle with Tony Hammonds that didn't face any charges because they believed he did not know what Tony Hammonds was doing. I don't know. Yeah. I didn't know. That's so freaking weird. They also stated that they do not believe that Tony Hammonds attempted crime had anything to do with Summer Wells. It's what they said. They believe it was an isolated incident. It's what they said. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. I just truly don't believe that someone was standing up. I mean, I don't know. The possibility, could somebody have been standing up there without any adult or the boys knowing that somebody was standing up there? I mean, yeah, it could have happened. It could have happened for sure. For sure. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Yes, there are women RSOs also. Absolutely. Absolutely. For sure. All right. I've been on here 2 hours and I'm not even sure what my live was supposed to be about today. But I appreciate you guys hanging out. I printed out about 10 pages of my notes, and we will just do that next time. We will start going through my notes and trying to get my crap together on that for sure. Thank you again, the Piratess. Thank you for your kind words. I appreciate, like I do appreciate that for sure. And I appreciate people who've been supportive over, you know, Ernie talking to me like a dog, but I don't want you guys to worry about that. You know, I personally do not lose any sleep over weird ass Ernie Shell. You know, if that made Ernie feel like a big boy, you know, good for him. I don't know what to freaking tell him. But like I said, I will allow anyone I want up on my panel. I will like anyone I want. I am good if people don't like the people I don't like or that I like. I am absolutely A-okay with that. You know, some people are just natural pieces of shit. It just comes naturally for them. They ain't even, you know, they don't even have to reach into their souls to be pieces of shit. It just exudes out their fucking mouth. So, but thank you guys. Thank you for caring. Thank you for caring and thank you for sharing. For sure. Zena, thank you for being so supportive and giving all them freaking memberships out. I appreciate that so much. I really do. So, but yes, I mean, like I said, today was kind of, I wasn't even really sure. It was just hot. I thought we'd get on here and just have, you know, a conversation or whatever. And I just want to say, definitely before I get off here, that I adore Brandy Neil Vaughn. I love that I can look at someone and just her showing people what a real mother should be. It it leaves me speechless sometimes. It really does. It leaves me, completely speechless sometimes that, if there was a poster woman for motherhood, she would be number one on my poster. I can tell you that. She would be number one on that poster. And, I'm not going to get on here and dog my mom out. My mom had a lot of addictions. My mom had a lot of problems. You get a little older and you can kind of go back and see things and, take, I have forgiven. I have always forgiven. But you don't forget. You just don't forget. You don't. And I don't know. That's just the way life works sometimes, for sure. Killer, thanks for coming in. I need to go over and see what you put out. I haven't had a chance to catch up with a lot of things on YouTube yet. But yeah, you guys go check out Killer. He puts out some really good stuff. I appreciate you coming in and commenting about whatever you commented about. See, my mind hasn't been working right lately, you guys. I've had a sore throat. It's just bad. But like I said, yeah, it is the methed up. It was all the people in the area. They were all methed up. They were going around. They were thieving shit off of each other. I mean, it sounded like it was a free for all up in that holler. Like I said, the info that was sent to me about Laura and her daughter, not saying Laura wasn't with Fred, that Laura and her daughter was at Fred's place, which would have been Laura's place too. And Chad being there and Laura's daughter speaking with Chad, where that would stand out to me, and I will say it again, I've said it before, is the fact that Laura, in a conversation, and I would have to find it, stated that Summer would come over to play. And when the boys would come, that they were always with Dawn. Did Summer leave 110 with maybe in her mind she was going to go over there to play, and she gets down to the road and something happens? That possibility's there. I'm not going to sit and say that any of those people did anything to Summer, because I cannot do that. I was not there that day. The dynamics that these people had with each other, for some reason, they want to lie about it. That was there from the beginning, where they absolutely wanted to make it out like none of them were friends. They all didn't like each other. One of them was a worse drug addict than the next one. And Just weird, right? Just weird, right? But I don't care who you are. I don't care what channel you have. I don't care who hangs with you. I think that everybody has a right to cover Summer's case. Everybody has a right to cover missing children's cases. And I think that if you can really look past people not liking someone, they put out some really good stuff. See, the problem is a lot of times you have creators who may not like another creator, which in turn makes their subs not like that creator. And therefore, it makes it to where whatever the creator that the one creator doesn't like, puts out that, it's not true. And that's just not fact. You wouldn't think an alleged unaliver would come out in the open on YouTube, but there he was. Yep. Creepy freaking people, Xena. I can't get past on the shelf him in Gatlinburg the night before Candace took the kids to Gatlinburg. Someone creeping around with a name. Well, I'm going to say this, use your chopsticks. I would not bless anybody's heart who follows Ernie Shell around. That's all I can say. Bless their heart. For sure. Bless them. Bless them, Miss Flies would say. I got to find that. I need to transfer that over for sure. For sure. But no, I don't agree with anybody who is going to set and try to discredit a missing child's mother because of how some information was put out. That is Brandy Vaughn Neal is Michael Monkey Vaughn's mother. She has the right and she has a rapport with all agencies that are concerned with Michael's case. Very quickly, it was about finding Michael, and it's still about finding Michael. I think it's fucked up if anybody wants to sit and try to tell a mother that it's just fucked up. It's fucked up. For real. That person wouldn't like Candace and Dawn very well, would they? They want to try to blow Brandy shit about something. Why don't you talk to Dawn and Candace? Well, be careful, Grumble. Thank you for coming in. I hope you have a great day. Yeah, you can be a shit parent and not have known what happened in a missing child or person case. Absolutely. And I truly want to believe that, and this is just me, I truly want to believe that Candace did not know what happened to Summer that day. Did not physically have anything to do with what happened to Summer that day. I do believe that. But I do think that somewhere, maybe someone that her or Dawn crossed path with, or there's something there. There's something there for sure. So we will do I promise I'll do a proper live on everything. I was just kind of skimming through some of these notes, and there's still a lot more to go through. So, but yes, like I said, in the article on Tony Hammond, it says that, the Summer Wells case, the 12-year-old boy that Tony Hammond tried to snatch was a isolated incident. There's another guy that we can talk about. What was his name? That dude was doing horrible things to women and stuff. I don't know. All right. I'm going to get off here. Thanks for hanging. At times I wonder if Summer got hurt bad. She called Dawn to take Summer to the hospital, but a CPS down North Route, something bad happened. I don't know. I've heard that. I've heard people say that, darling. For real. For sure. You make sure your mama's taking care of you, PG's little girl. You make sure she's taking care of you. Or, she still got to pay you attention, even though she got that other baby. Okay? Funny. All right, I am going to get off here. Thanks for hanging out, you guys. I will catch you later. I am really tired. It's just so hot. I think I'm going to take a nap for sure. Yeah, she's got a baby now, PG's little girl. You better make sure your mama taking care of you. Funny. All right, peace out, you guys. Have a good one.